We're going.
Yeah, we're already rolling.
We're already on?
Yeah, we've been on.
It's not a matter of when we're recording. It's a matter of when you want to start the show.
Oh, let's fucking go right now. Hello, people.
Hello.
Hey, Twitter world.
McClunky.
We're here to talk about...
McClunky indeed.
We're here to talk
Let's
about...
hold on.
That's staying in. That's gotta be the intro. That's gotta... You've at least got to cut to... It's got a hard cut to us just talking about Star Wars.
Yeah.
So KOTOR, you guys remember KOTOR?
I
Never
do.
played KOTOR.
Nope.
This is great.
Now
a
we've
podcast where we're talking about KOTOR, where half of the hosts
But I know
haven't
Star
played
Wars, like Lifesavers and McClunky, so I can
Yeah.
keep up.
Lightsabers, McClunky.
all
It's
the
got
essential
yeah.
things.
I know
I
Drex.
also played other Star Wars games, so we'll have some stuff to talk about on this
50s
podcast.
Diner
The
Man.
so-called podcast, KOTOR.
So what the fuck is... So, KOTOR.
Okay.
Go ahead. Someone who knows what it is.
Yeah,
has
I
actually
guess
played it,
I guess
maybe.
like the thing that makes it notable now is like it's it's a good game and everybody knows that, and it's kind of boring to say at this point, but how kind of like quaint it is at this point, like how I don't know, kind of
Yeah.
pure and like untainted it is by all of the extended Disney bullshit. And now there was like that article where they said they want to remake it, but they want it to fit the new lore that they've done.
Oh, so they want to
Yeah.
make it worse.
Yes,
They
yes,
want to make it
essentially.
dog shit.
Okay,
Yeah. it's essentially-
Gotcha.
Did they say they were gonna remake? They said they were remaking the first one, right?
Yeah,
Not
yeah.
the second one?
I doubt they would touch the second one. No.
I can't imagine how you could make the second one fit into the fucking. It's just the antithesis of everything that Star Wars is.
Yeah, and also like remaking something that
So,
wasn't even finished.
Maybe here's
Well,
how
yeah.
we could do this. Explain for the folks at home and for retards such as myself who haven't played this game, like what would make the second so hard to retranslate? Like how different is it, or what tell us about KOTOR?
It's
I-
very
yeah.
well. Okay.
You go
So
ahead.
I guess we'll just in short, KOTOR 1 is very easy to remake because it's just a very basic Star Wars. I mean, it's the first game in like the, I don't know what their plan was with Knights of the Old Republic, if they were going to make it a series from the get-go or if it was just going to be, I don't know what the plan was. But it's basically like a regular ass Star Wars story where you're the hero basically. And it's just a very well done kind of
Yeah,
space
like-
adventure story.
It's like really unpretentious in what it aims to do. Like it's just retelling something close to the original, like just different enough to where it feels fresh, but just telling like a classic kind of Star Wars story. And then the
Yes,
second game
there's
is
like-
And
the
when did it
opposite.
come out? 2003?
2003. I
Yeah,
think
3 or
I think
4.
the first one was 03 and then the second one was 04. Like it was very very quick afterwards.
Yeah, the classic give Obsidian 10 months to make the sequel, and it's
Yeah.
amazing, but also completely unfinished. It's that scenario. It's
Unfinished.
the New Vegas scenario again.
That's what KOTOR
I
2
mean-
was.
Yeah, that's exactly what it is, yeah.
What makes it so cool?
KOTOR 2 or 1?
Any of them.
Well, it's like, they're both like really just perfectly executed of what their concepts are, of like, 2 is kind of like a deconstruction of Star Wars, like,
Yeah, it just completely takes
Yeah.
apart any sort of
Chris Avellone has like, specifically, is it Avellone? Yeah, who wrote it, right?
who he's canceled now by the way. He's a
Yeah, he's, okay, sorry.
He's canceled next year.
CA,
So
who shall not
Yeah.
be named, like specifically said that he hates Star Wars, and that like when he got the call that they were making KOTOR 2, he was like, oh god, I don't want to do this. And so he basically has like a self-insert character in the game who just critiques like the concept of the Jedi and the Force and everything like that.
which isn't as gay as you just made it sound.
Yes, that is true. Like the character is like one of the best written characters in like pretty much any Western
Who's the
RPG.
character?
Yeah. I mean, KOTOR 2 is one of the best written Western RPGs
Who is
I've ever
Chris
personally played.
Avallone's self-insert?
It's like a blind
Graham.
old woman. Yeah.
It's not
It's a blind,
yeah,
crippled woman.
It's not. It's not. That's a very bad way of putting it. Because
Well,
when you think self-insert, you think like Brian from Family Guy or some fucking OC shit that
Yeah,
someone
yeah.
made. That's a very bad way of putting it.
Yeah, Lois, I'm thinking there might be some problems with being a Jedi.
Yeah. But KOTOR 2 is indicative of a direction that you can take Star Wars in that isn't. Remember this? Look,
yeah.
look.
'Cause,
Palpatine is back.
He's
back.
back, ladies and gentlemen. Back and McClunkier than
Because
ever.
like that's the thing about KOTOR 1 is that it is a like remember this, but in like a good way. It's like remember
it's
this
kind of-
concept, like this idea, and they kind of like
Exactly. It's
rebirth
not.
it.
It's
Yeah.
not throwing. It's basically the same. I mean, there's like a Death Star, but it's not the Death Star.
Yes,
It's remember
yeah.
this, but it's doing what a video game like that should do, which is putting you in the. It's not like putting you in the character of Luke or whoever. It's making its own story so you can actually be those characters in your own story. You know what I mean? Like it's doing that
Yeah,
type of thing.
And it feels like a tribute to Star Wars made within Star
Yes,
Wars, which is
it
like
feels-
a distinction.
exactly.
Yeah.
It feels like it respects the source material and it enjoys the people making it enjoy the source material, and they
I see. Like
And,
a
like-
loving, faithful tribute to the source material, just like the new films.
just like the
Well,
new
yeah,
film-
that's the thing.
Exactly
Like,
like
the
the
Disney idea of a loving tribute is literally just to bring them back and make them do something cool, whereas KOTOR was about
Yeah.
like creating something new within the same universe. But it's
It's
not
also
like
like,
literally. It's not like literally Yoda or like literally Luke coming back and riding an ATST or whatever. It's like
No, Disney accepted all of these Star Wars IPs as museum exhibits, and when they said that they're going to stay faithful to it, they just mean that they're not going to touch it or dirty it. They're just going to keep it on display in this case where you can always look
Yes.
at it and you never
Mint
have to worry
condition.
about it getting damaged.
Untouchable.
There will always be the Force. There will always be the
Yes.
Jedi, even if certain directors try and ruin that. We're gonna
Well,
bring
okay,
it back.
so Ryan Johnson, that whole I don't even know where to fucking start with the Last Jedi. You don't even know where to
which you,
fucking
which you
start.
haven't seen, by the way.
Which I haven't seen, but I just know
Which
everything
makes
that
you-
happens through
Yes,
osmosis.
which makes you an authoritative sort like that. That
I
should
am an authority.
that should be a rule about that movie: is you shouldn't be allowed to talk about it if you've seen it.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
You might skew your
You
view of the film.
Yes, exactly.
But from hearing the plot points, it's like, okay, he's subverting your. Because I didn't watch any of the new ones because I was just done with Star Wars. I didn't give a fuck when Force Awakens was coming out. I didn't care because that was after the prequels and after years of like getting good video games and playing.
Yeah, I
I
don't
was
think
just like,
anyone
I don't
cares
give a fuck.
anymore about Star Wars. Like, there's
Only
nothing
the
good.
like hardcore rabid fan base.
Yeah,
that
which
we'll
we'll,
go to
we'll
Disney
get to
Comics.
later. But yeah, go ahead. Sorry.
I don't even know what the fuck my original point was. All those movies suck ass. They all look like shit. I know what happens in them, and it's shit. I don't want to watch any of that shit.
But
Yeah.
there is like a vision that you see the difference is so huge between 8 and 9, where 8 is like he's actually trying to do something new, and it's not very good, but like he is kind of like the whole subverting your expectations meme. Like, as much as I don't think it's a great movie, like I respect the fact that he didn't just bend to the
yes.
fanboys and just
The-
give them what they
here's-
Yeah.
wanted.
For me, Star Wars is not the most interesting thing to wax philosophical about and
You should play KOTOR 2.
reflect on. No, I don't. I don't mean in that way. I mean like to Well, maybe you're right.
Well, that's the
maybe
thing.
It can
Well,
be done
I
but
better.
it's
understand.
only KOTOR 2. Like that's the only thing that's done it well.
But that's what I'm saying is that
It
it
makes-
can be
yeah.
those things. The reason you don't associate those things with Star Wars is because it's only been done fucking in one video game, and no one ever went in that direction
Sure.
anymore. Because then people don't fucking buy like nobody's buying action figures of Kreia.
And
You
look,
know?
maybe that game that I haven't played does what Last Jedi tries to do, but only does in like a half measure sort of way, because it's the middle movie in a trilogy made by Disney.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
it tries to deconstruct Star Wars, but is completely part of the mainline problem.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
trying
that's
to
completely
look
the-
at.
captured. Yeah, by
You can't. There's no distance from the source to kind of apply a deconstruction. Like Metal Gear 2, Solid 2, kind of worked deconstructing Metal Gear by putting you in a different protagonist's shoes. Like it established some distance between 1 and 2.
Yeah.
And I don't know, there just wasn't the level of distance required, like in terms of new setting, and like the Old Republic as a setting is far enough afield from Luke Skywalker that you can deconstruct Star Wars maybe.
Yeah, and
Right.
they did
Oh,
give
yeah.
like BioWare like a lot of freedom. Like Lucas, well, I don't know if it was him specifically, but in that era before like the Disney era, they seemed to give like a lot of creative freedom to the people who were working in the EU stuff, and like that turned out to be really good in some cases, like KOTOR and like Republic Commando and a lot of those like mid 2000s Star Wars games. But then there was a lot of like really dumb bullshit too, like I mean we just
like
need to
the whole expanded universe
like,
except the game.
Every
like-
single book ever.
yeah, like just have a dive through Wikipedia and you know what I mean. But Disney's new approach is to be like completely controlling of every single aspect. And the problem is
after
that
Ryan Johnson, yeah.
yeah, and the problem is they suck. Like all of the new lore is like completely terrible and everyone hates it except for like the most like rabid hardcore like will eat up any shit that Disney will fucking feed them basically.
Well, I mean, I think what's clearly obvious is that if we want to take this, I do have something to say about Ryan Johnson and the Last Jedi.
Who I generally like, I just want to say. I like
Oh yeah.
the episodes of Breaking Bad he directed.
Yeah, he
I
got
enjoyed
fucked
Looper,
over.
even though it wasn't like a great movie. I thought Looper was a good movie. Knives
I-
Out, I really enjoyed.
You
I
know,
think
Disney
that-
did him dirty. They just like
The Last
completely threw him
Jedi-
under the bus.
Well, yeah, but the Last Jedi is kind of like it runs into. Correct me if I'm wrong, but from the plot points and everything I know about the movie, it runs into the same problem as the Zack Snyder films, where they're trying to be deconstructive of something, but they're very very close to this. Like they want to have their cake and eat it too. Like
yeah,
you
no,
want
that's completely true.
you want Superman to be a depressed retard, but also you want him to be Superman who saves people. So him saving
Yeah.
people, which
You
is
want him
supposed
to
to be
be
like
that-
triumphant.
An alcoholic homeless man in Jesus.
Yeah,
There's a lot of that with Luke specifically, but I mean, I wouldn't. Sorry, I lost my train of thought there.
No,
What was
no,
literally
that's-
just
I agree
said?
with that Luke gets a similar treatment as Superman does in the Snyderverse.
Okay,
As
right,
being
right.
like
The
a
Snyderverse.
hobo.
The difference between these movies and the Snyderverse, though, specifically with The Last Jedi, is The Last Jedi is like entertaining from moment to moment. Like the pieces don't connect and they don't tell an overall coherent narrative or something that can be carried over into another movie. But like with the Zack Snyder films, they're just boring a lot of the time. You're just looking at gray, bland shots with people mugging at the
Well, yeah.
camera. And in
I'm
Star
sure-
Wars, they're at least just like, you know, pew 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 pew, boo.
I did like the cool part where the cool thing exploded.
That
Yes,
was cool.
That happened a lot in
cool.
the last 3 movies, and
The-
it was
The
my
Last
favorite part
Jedi
about
had-
Star Wars.
Shots I remember too, which is something I can't
Yeah.
say about the other ones.
Yeah. Have you
Like when the ship bloated up
Yeah,
cool.
that
or
was
when
very
Ray
cool.
was looking in the mirrors, or the like
The
big
editing,
salt
especially,
You're
planet.
right, yeah.
blowing up.
Like,
When
am I the only person who's seen the ninth movie? The
I think
I've
you're
Rise
the
seen
of...
it.
only
It
one
was
here.
Jack and I have seen it.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
That
so, okay.
that was like like what, you can say whatever about Last Jedi. I think it's like a cool idea, but not that well executed. But whatever. But like, The Rise of Skywalker is the worst
Rise
movie
of
I have
Skywalker,
ever
that's
paid
right.
to see.
I
Like,
couldn't I legitimately couldn't remember the name earlier.
it's like the most insulting thing in the world.
that
Like,
last scene in
it's
Rise of
so
Skywalker.
lazy.
It's like they were trying to attempt like the Avengers Endgame
Yeah.
Infinity War like final battle where
Yeah.
like everybody's joining in to help, but like they didn't actually set up any reason to care
exactly.
about any of these
And that was
people.
after like 50 movies of setting up all these
Yeah.
characters, and then they just do it, but like no one cares.
It's like what it's like they're trying to do is like an Avengers type thing, but in a way like a Mass Effect 3 type thing, where everybody
Yeah, you're
from
right,
all over
yeah.
the universe is flying in to save the day from the cosmic threat. But the difference is the cosmic threat was built up for 3 games rather than pulled out of nowhere in a text crawl.
You're right. Yeah,
In the last installment.
that's how
Like, the
Palpatine
threat-
comes back.
The threat, it's not a trilogy. It's the threat in the last movie is established in the first frame of the last movie.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I
Like
and I
the
just
the
don't-
3
I
movies
don't
are completely
believe that
discordant.
they meant to have Palpatine the whole time. I just
No,
don't
no way.
think that
No,
was
definitely
planned.
not.
Absolutely not.
So it just seems
None
stupid.
of this was planned.
That was J.J.
It is.
Abrams, who's like just like an utter hack. Like, there's no defending him after that
His-
movie. He's the
His
worst.
mystery box bullshit, dude. That started
Yes.
with Lost, and I'm the only one here that has seen Lost. Anyone that has seen Lost will tell you how much of a fucking idiot J.J. Abrams is, and his fucking mystery box is Damon Lindelof, Alex Kurtzman, and all that crew. They all wrote for Lost, and the last season of that fucking show is fucking trash, man.
Like,
fucking
anyone
trash.
can
Essentially
set up.
snake oil salesman.
Anyone can set up a cool direction for a story
But,
to go, but
yes,
like
yeah,
actually
but
finishing it off is so hard, and he can't do it.
that's what I was gonna say. Is that I think all of that started because Lost. If we want to take a step aside here for a second, Lost. There's like, I think after season 3 of Lost, there was a writer's strike, and Lost was only supposed to be 4 seasons. So all this shit that was set up in like the first 3 seasons was supposed to pay off in season 4, I guess, because they had it planned out. But then they just got 3 more seasons, so they were just like, fuck, whatever. And people kept watching the show. So I think that's when J.J. Abrams and crew understood that all you have to do is have an interesting setup, and people will watch your show till the end.
Yeah,
And you don't even have to pay it off. I think that's when that was the
right.
the genesis.
Because people recognize a puzzle, and the elements are recognizable even if there's nothing behind the puzzle door. So people can be hooked with no underlying reality to support the promise, which is now like a consistent theme in J.J. Abrams, like
yeah.
kind of his oeuvre, the oeuvre of J.J. Abrams.
Well,
You're making a puzzle, but the
because
puzzle
it's
is
still
a,
being made, because it's still in the process of being made, there's this expectation that this can literally go anywhere, that like whatever I can come up with in my imagination, that's the limits of what could happen, and it's just never ever delivered on.
Well,
Like-
and look, I think that you are right to expect a little more out of like a multi-billion-dollar series that really doesn't need a sequel. So sequels need to justify themselves more so than like original films for obvious reasons. Like every time a sequel to a movie is made, there's always the implicit question of, do we need this? And, you know, it has to justify that through its runtime. And, you know, I kind of lost where I was going with that, but
I think that's
Rise
like
of Skywalker
that, well,
was long.
that's the thing
It
about The
was
Force
long.
Awakens is like when I watched it, I was like, okay, that was a fun movie, but like for this to be good, like it needs to go somewhere else. You know what I mean? And it's like,
Yeah,
I enjoyed
yeah.
it when it came out, but now that movie is like pointless. Like, I would never watch that movie again because I know where it's going, which is nowhere. Like,
Well, I
the
mean,
film
it's
is made
still
obsolete
somewhere
by
compared
its
to the other
sequels.
movies. Like The Last Jedi, like doesn't 80% of that film just take place with them in space slowly fleeing
Yes.
from a
Yes,
from an
that's
true.
Imperial
A lot of it
destroyer?
They go
Like
to
it's just
casino too.
And then Rise
it's
of
just like
Skywalker,
a
there weren't
massive
enough
fucking bottle movie.
there weren't enough locations in the last one. So Rise of Skywalker, they go to like 7 different planets in one movie, and it's like you
Oh,
spend like 5
wow.
minutes on each planet. It's great.
You're in a
They
saloon.
fly now.
You're in
Like-
a back room.
Yeah, like it feels like they're just like rushing you along in that movie. Like whenever they get somewhere interesting, they don't give you any time to breathe. It's like on to the next setting, on to the next setting, on to the next thing.
Oh yeah, wasn't there like that one like Valkyrie chick bounty hunter something or
Yeah,
other
she has like one
on that
scene.
one planet where C3PO gets fried? And then yeah, she talks to them for one scene and it's like, I'm not gonna turn you in because I know what it's like to be on the run.
I remember where I was going with that point. Sorry to step on
No, I was
Yeah, no
I was
worries.
done.
the bounty hunter thing, but sequels having to justify themselves to now know that they just made everything up at the last minute with Palpatine and all that. That like completely shoots any notion down that there's like a justified creative reason for this. Like, you know, obviously it's for money. We all know it's for money. That's not like a
They
new
wouldn't do that.
observation, but you know, a lot of movies are made for money and are able to be infused with enough creativity to make them worthwhile and rewatchable.
Right, like the prequels.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was gonna say.
The
I
best
was
movies
gonna
ever
say.
made, yeah.
Let's
Yes.
now talk about how the prequels are actually great now.
No, they're not.
They're actually the best films.
Well,
My
I,
opinion
They are
on
the
them
best
is
films.
I mean, I
actually
appreciate
rewatched the
them.
prequels recently.
Oh,
Nice.
really?
really.
Oh yeah,
Why?
it was a bad time.
Yeah.
Because I hadn't
really?
seen them since I was 6. Like, I mean, I understand that they were awful and I was bored by them as a child, but like,
Yep.
I didn't bother to rewatch them because I was bored by them. So I finally decided, okay, I'll give them a serious watch and try to evaluate whether or not it deserves all this hate, and it really does. The first movie is just all
The
over
first
the
one is
place.
just boring.
Yeah.
Honestly.
And then there's
Like,
this action scene at the end that's stuck on with a little push pin where they're like there's this attack on a what was it, an Imperial
Naboo.
Palace, Naboo Palace. Yeah, and they're
Yeah, the
doing the
Naboo and-
spider walk up the side of the building. That is
Mm.
the one frame of that movie I can remember after watching it like less than a year ago.
It's. I remember as a child watching that around when it came out. The aesthetic of Star Wars was interesting. Lightsabers were cool. Jedi were cool. I remember, like, my teachers thought Star Wars was cool because they were remembering the movies they saw. My family remembered the movies they saw. And then they put on the fucking Star Wars tape, Episode 1, and I could, like, hardly sit through it. I don't remember coherently getting through an entire sitting of that as a kid. I don't think my attention span supported that for that movie. And I have a relatively long attention span, and I couldn't do it. And
You didn't
like
like the
episode
debates
2
about taxation of trade routes?
taxation of the Naboo taxation threats. This will not stand, Senator.
Episode 2 in theaters, I remember getting excited for, but only because I got a lightsaber toy and would, like, hit people with it.
I have one of those.
Let's okay.
That
before
one's
you-
even worse. I actually think Attack of the Clones is worse than Phantom Menace.
No, it's more fun to watch.
I get,
Yeah,
but
I-
like, yeah, it is more fun. Well, that's all of these movies.
I
They're-
understand that
they are
wait, wait, wait,
incredibly
wait,
fun
back
to
up,
watch.
the
back up.
second one is
Back up.
awful, but
Back up.
2 has lots of CGI and fights.
Yes, which is
And
like
that makes it the
Back
best
up.
prequel.
astoundingly bad now. It looks
Back up.
insanely bad.
Oh yeah, well yes. The CGI it looks like, but let's. I mean, making fun of the CGI is fine, but it
Right,
did.
yeah.
If there's one thing that you can say about the fucking prequels that is actually good, is that it did push the envelope in terms of special effects and CGI, much like the original Star
Mm.
Wars films pushed the envelope in terms of practical effects and stuff like that. But the
I
original
guess,
movie,
but
there's
it's
there's a
similar to
there's
like
a
making a
movement now.
four-dimensional movie. Like you can throw a ton of money at pushing things technologically forward. But,
Sure, they suck.
and,
I'm
you
not
know,
saying. I'm just saying that.
and
I'm just
maybe
saying that.
ultimately the ultimate footprint of the prequels is not so different from the footprint of Avatar, which was more critically accepted but still forgettable, and will ultimately only be remembered
The
for how it
critical
pushed technology
advancement
forward.
the
Yes.
critical
Well,
advancement that the prequels accomplished with their CGI was being responsible for every CGI monstrosity in every kid's film to follow. Like both of the Garfield films starring Bill Murray, that's the fault of George
Oh,
Lucas.
right.
Yeah.
that
Tale
wouldn't
of
have been
Two
possible
Kitties.
without the prequels.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been possible
So-
without Drexel's 50 Diner.
With Drexel, what the
What's
fuck?
his name?
What
What's
did
his
you-
name?
Dexter
you called him
Jetster.
Drexel?
Come on,
It's
man.
fucking
Drexel.
Dexter Jetster, man.
Are you even
Dexter
a
Jetster.
Star
Are you a
Wars
real
fan?
fan?
Come on, dude.
Have you seen the
I
fucking
bet you've
movies?
never dined at his establishment.
Yeah.
I've never gotten a burger
We've all
at
been.
Dexter Jetster's Deluxe
long,
Diner.
long ago in a galaxy far, far away. They have
I'm-
fucking
my
shitty
point-
50s
Yes,
diners.
we must address the
My point.
the
Let me just- if
disgraceful
I just-
scourge
my
of,
point-
of Zoomers, Zoomer
What are you
revisionism.
talking about, Michael?
My original point was that if there's one thing you can hand it to the prequels is that they did push the envelope in terms of CGI. One thing you can't hand it to the prequels is that they're actually good movies, which is people are trying to do this now because the new ones suck. And I will say that I would rather watch the fucking prequels than any of the new movies.
Yeah.
Because they're infinitely more like how many fucking years of discussion have we gotten?
They're more
just us
charming.
personally.
They're more earnest.
They're more
Yeah.
earnest. They're more charming. The fucking the designs of everything feel way more unique and original because fucking George
It's-
Lucas did it.
It's
It's
made
more than
by
an
an
effects
auteur.
reel. It's an effects reel plus
A
a poorly
genius
written
auteur.
like
Yeah.
children's musical
Working at the
script.
height of his game.
Well, it is made by an auteur, but the problem is it's an auteur who's just like completely lost sight of what he wants to
A
do.
flatulent auteur.
Yeah, exactly. Just like this completely out of touch million-year-old man who like kind of hates George Bush but doesn't know like exactly how he wants to
Yeah.
express it, or like, and he just can't help himself. So there's characters that are called like Bingo McClunky and all that kind of thing everywhere.
The
And
meme
also,
boy-
he's a man who doesn't mind making $10 billion.
Yeah,
That is
that's
also
true.
Not
also
everybody could stand up to that task.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Would
that's
Would you
the
have
biggest,
not have
and that's a
done
problem.
McClunky if you would have gotten $10 billion?
Of course. Of course.
But that's the problem is with the prequels that stops them from being good movies is that they are boring, which I don't think the sequel movies are like boring in that same. They're
Yeah,
not
right.
fucking like actually like, oh my god, when is this scene gonna end? Which
Honestly,
it's literally soul versus soulless, though, where
yeah,
It
yeah.
is.
the old
But
ones,
if you
the
just-
prequels are completely incompetent, but somewhat different, and the
Like a
sequel
very
trilogy,
earnest retard.
yeah, and the
Yes.
sequel trilogy is competent but heartless.
Made by committee, yeah. Yeah, I mean the originals is like the originals. The fucking prequels is like I would honestly say, and it's been I would say a few years since I watched all of them. And a very very long time since I watched all of them in one sitting, like to just all of them. But I would say that the first one is mostly boring. It's fun to talk about after the fact because nothing made any fucking sense, but it's mostly boring. And it was a lot quicker, honestly, pacing wise, than I remembered it being when I rewatched it. Which is a very weird dichotomy because it is so boring. The second one is more fun. You've got Obi-Wan jumping out of a window. You've got
Yes.
and in the next scene, you've got like Anakin jumping out of a car and then Obi-Wan going, "Oh, I hate it when he does that," even though he did the exact same thing
Right, and
essentially.
like chiding him for being
5
too
minutes
reckless
ago.
and all that kind of stuff. Yeah, just doesn't make any
And
sense.
then it just doesn't make any sense. Within the span of like 5 minutes, all this happens together.
There's a lack of
Use
like
the Force.
care and direction.
Yeah.
it is that's and then the third one, which is just Anakin killing younglings and
The third one's the best.
It's just more.
It's the
It
best.
is the best. It has the most like laugh out loud moments.
Yes,
And
like,
it's-
and that's what I really hate about the fucking prequel revisionist is that they like it, but they like it for the wrong reason, which they think that stuff is like
yeah.
really good drama. Like that's actually
From
what
my
they think
point of
about
view,
it.
the Jedi are evil.
Yes, no, but like I see these fucking posts on fucking prequel memes where it's like, oh man, that had me in like actual tears, and it's like, no, dude, it's not good because of that. It's good because it's fucking hilarious. It's good because like it's the most campy bullshit, like melodrama, over the top nonsense. That's what makes the prequels great. It's not because they're
That's
I
what
good.
makes
almost wonder
It's
if
not
the
'cause it's
point
good
at this
drama.
point is that people are LARPing as fan or prequel fans.
Yes,
Like they're
Well,
not
you-
even.
we
a
should
lot
talk
of
about
them-
that
yeah.
too. Yeah.
This is it all comes back to how these movies and this franchise and this IP in general have ballooned to a behemoth that is just a projection of your own personal sickness that you want to express to the world. Like you express your political takes via which Star Wars movie is your favorite. You show what type of cool mental illness you have by which
Right, like
characters,
saying you
lightsaber
like The
want.
Last Jedi the best or hate it the most is a form of identity
Yes.
politics. At this
Yep.
point,
Yeah.
it's like if you hate SJW Cox, then The Last Jedi is the worst thing in the world, and Ryan Johnson should be executed for ruining Star Wars.
I'm gonna kill Ryan Johnson.
And if you're a good
I'm
little
going
Biden
to
voter,
kill.
if you love Kamala Harris, you don't let your son dress up as a stormtrooper because that's fascism.
Yeah, that's actually fascism.
It is fascism, actually.
It's actually fascism.
You see, I can't think of any reason why one would want to portray a villain for fun.
Right.
That sounds like fascism to me.
Yeah. That sounds like you would do that in real life.
Yeah, you would actually do that. In real
I
life?
doubt they did that in ancient times, like ancient Greece or, like,
No.
say, 1400s England.
No, they never. Yeah, they would. Well, that's why they were fascist back then. So obviously they did do that.
They were fash. Colonizer fash. Which
Colonizer fascist.
I think, okay, can we spend the next 2-3 hours maybe deconstructing Star Wars through a anti-colonial lens?
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, the Ewoks were
Well,
fighting
I mean-
against colonialism.
I mean, dude, as George Lucas said, Star
yeah.
Wars was sold to white slavers, man.
I mean, he's not wrong.
Was that an actual quote?
Do you remember that? What,
yeah,
what
yeah.
the fuck?
No, it was a Charlie
You
Rose
sold
interview.
it, bitch.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that rules.
Yeah.
It's like you fucking sold it, man. What do you mean?
But yeah,
Should
I
we
got
then
a
be
really
like,
good
"Oh, you're
deal
right,
for
George.
it.
We should I make a petition to give
well,
you
well
back
that's the
Star
thing
Wars,
about
Mr.
George. Is
Billionaire?"
that, well, I think that's the thing about George is that he's woke, dude. Like he says that George Bush is bad in the prequels.
George Bush is bad, and he's made the first all-black film
Yes.
to
The
ever be
first
made.
film
That's
to
it.
ever
that
have an
George
all-black
Lucas
cast.
wanted to get across
Yeah.
was that white slavery is okay so long as the price is good enough.
As long as George is basically the Watto of real life.
Yeah. He's
You
pretty
know,
cool.
I didn't really think about this, but because Mark Hamill is like so deeply tied to Star Wars, it really isn't up to him like who his identity gets sold to. Like he was essentially sold to Disney, and he got no say in it. And it's like, well, if you
Pretty
still
much,
if
you're
you
right.
still want to keep being Luke Skywalker, you're gonna have to work for Disney now.
Like,
Yeah.
how could he have? I don't think he could have said no even if he wanted to coming back for the new movies.
Well, I mean, who's going to say no to $500 billion?
Well,
If he
yeah,
said
that,
no, they
but,
would
like-
have just put him in as a CGI insert.
But like, do you
They
remember?
would. They
young
would. Yeah.
self.
They do own his likeness. They
But
can
do you
just
remember
that,
there
yeah.
was that leaked there was a leaked document from Sony that said if Bill Murray didn't come back for the all-female Ghostbusters movie, they were gonna sue him.
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, like that's what it
Why
is
he
at
looks
this
so
point.
fucking
It's just
miserable all the
yeah,
time.
and then
all
in the
the
movie
movies.
he's like miserable and I remember he just like sits down in a chair, and that's like his whole
I did
appearance
it
in that
because
movie.
I know these girls
Did you actually
are
watch
funny.
Ghostbusters 2016?
No, I just saw that scene where he just comes in and then he sits in a chair, and I think
Oh,
he
I see.
probably wouldn't have agreed to be in the movie if they didn't let him sit down in a chair.
God, there's the video of them on like Jimmy Kimmel or something or whatever the fuck, and then Kimmel like asks him a question, even though it was in his notes not to ask Bill Murray any question.
Yeah,
Went off script,
It's because
and
I knew these girls
and then
were funny.
yeah,
yeah, ooh, wow, wow.
There's delayed applause after that.
yeah.
Has
Yeah.
anyone seen The Mandalorian?
No,
No, but I hear it's like
I only saw the first season.
I heard that like it's
Yeah,
just
I saw the first
let's
couple.
just do Star Wars, but without all of the
I enjoyed it.
ATSTs, and that's what makes it good, is how like small in scale it is. But then apparently they ruined that at the end. Like I
It's
hear that
kind of like
Yeah.
what Daredevil was for Marvel.
if only
Like,
if only
it was
our
just
friend
a much
Hunter was
smaller
here.
Look at the
They
superhero
narrow
world.
in.
yeah,
They
he's
narrow
actually
in
seen
on
it.
a guy with a kind of specific role in this world, so
Yeah.
it's more interesting to follow because he's got little things he does that don't quite make sense at first, but then you're like, oh, okay, I see what he's trying to do here, and he's got like a different way of life than different Star Wars characters you've normally followed. So it's just a little more interesting than most of the recent shit.
And that's what
Hmm.
was good about the show. And then at the end, like I hear that spoilers, I guess, at the end of season 2, Boba Fett and Luke Skywalker show up and they have a fight or something.
Yeah.
And then they announce that there's going to be a Boba Fett show and that Luke Skywalker is in it, and and there's an Obi-Wan show, and then Hayden Christensen is coming back,
Oh my
and there's
God.
Luke's boots and
Wait.
When
like
when
15
in
other
the
shows.
chronology does Mandalorian take place? Like, what
I
would
think
that
it's like
be
When a
after
New Hope,
6?
right?
After the original trilogy.
Okay, so Luke would be younger than he is in, I guess, whatever the first one was in the sequels. I can't remember the names.
Yes,
Dude,
Return
this
of
is
the Star
after
Wars.
Force
Awakens. There we
Return of the Jedi. Wait,
Fucking
Return of the Jedi.
And they-
Am I
yeah,
getting these
and they-
fucking names right?
Return of the Jedi
they
is the
put
last
CG on
of
his
the
Episode
face
original.
to
right?
make him
Yeah,
look
yeah.
young too.
Mandalorian happens after that. Yeah,
Okay, dude. Fucking.
because Werner
Have you
Herzog
guys
plays like a
listen?
exiled
you-
Empire guy.
Have you guys seen the trailer for the Obi-Wan Solo movie?
Is there a
No.
trailer?
Qui-Gon is in it, and Obi-Wan is
No
Jesus. That's
way.
the gist of the trailer.
I haven't seen the trailer. I didn't know there was one.
There's a little.
There's
There's
a
a shot of
teaser.
Obi-Wan. There's a well, yeah, the teaser trailer, or whatever.
Oh,
It came out
okay.
like
Yeah,
2
yeah.
years ago or something.
Mm.
There's a shot of Obi-Wan floating in the air, kind of like Jesus. He kind of looks a little like Jesus. It's very Jesus-esque. Why does this shit like Zack
is there
Snyder
a
movies?
is there a like
Why are there so
solo is there a solo-esque scene where it's like, you need a new name. You're by yourself. You can be Obi-Wan Kenobi. Is there a scene like that in the show?
Well, the movie isn't out yet, and I don't know if it's ever coming
Okay.
out because the
Because
Solo movie
for the folks
flopped.
at home, that's an actual scene in Solo where like
We
he
did-
doesn't have a name, and then the Empire
We
guy
all-
is like, "Oh, you're by yourself. You're flying solo."
You're
Hmm.
Han Solo. You're Han Solo. Yeah.
Let's talk about the
Let's talk about-
Kinect Star Wars. Kinect
Let's talk about Solo. I want
The
to talk about
best
that
Star Wars
movie.
game.
All
Fuck-
right, well,
fuck
we can
Battlefront
do-
2.
Connect.
Let's
Star
talk
Wars.
Connect Star Wars.
This is all over the place. We were originally going to talk about the early 2000s, early mid 2000s, before these fucking new movies came out, like the wealth of good games
The golden
that
age
came
of
out.
Star Wars video games,
We
basically.
haven't played
Pretty
any
much.
of them.
But now I guess we're all over the
I've played
place.
all of them. It's just me and him.
I mean, you guys have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've played a bunch of them. Fucking Republic Commando, remember
Republic
that shit?
Commando
That's cool.
is fucking sick. If you haven't played,
That's
it's,
another.
It's
That's
literally
another
it's like
thing.
it's like Rainbow Six, and you're like in a squad, but you're like clone troopers, which sounds kind of
Yeah.
lame, but it's really cool. And like It's kind of like gritty and dark for some reason, but it's just like kind of interesting.
They do it really, really. It's not too. It doesn't get very, very dark.
Yeah.
It gets like darker at the end. There's a part of the game where it becomes like a horror game.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
You're in like it's extremely fucking well done, and it uses like source material that already exists in the Star Wars universe, and it gives you these 4 characters. And even though they're clone troopers, they still have different life experiences, so they're different people. They're not the same guy. They all have
They
their
have
own personality.
Yeah, because they're like specially bred to be like the best clones or
and
something.
You spend time with these fucking people, and you get to know them, and then you care when like shit happens to them across the story. And it elevates the source material, because when you're fighting because it just takes the battle droids and all that stuff, and when you're just fighting them and you're not thinking of how stupid it is that they're somehow on this fucking
Yeah.
planet and whatever, they're very cool looking.
The prequels, because the prequels have cool designs and cool like concepts, like
Yeah.
a big robot army. But you know who's in the original, like when they were making the game, originally it was just going to be like normal clone troopers. And then do you know whose idea it was to make them like unique trooper guys?
Don't tell me. Was it Jorge's?
No, it was George Lucas. He like came by the studio
Jorge.
to like Jorge's. He came by the
that's Jorge.
studio. Okay. He
Jorge
came by the
Lucas.
studio, yeah, and like suggested it, and then they took that suggestion and ran with it basically. Like he greatly influenced that game by suggesting that. As an
So he
option.
just okay. Well, we can honestly, any George Lucas suggestion has like a 50-50 chance
Yes.
of either being very good or the worst thing in the world. So
What if
I don't know.
name was BJ Dart?
yeah, let's talk about that for a second if we want to go off on these tangents.
Yes, that's all this is gonna be now.
What are the Force Unleashed, right? That was the
Yeah,
name of the
yeah,
game?
yeah. And George Lucas's suggestion for the protagonist, I think, was Darth Insanius.
No, not the protagonist. His suggestion for the name
look
of
it
the
up.
protagonist was BJ Dart.
Great name.
I think the reasoning was because he darts around all over the place. He jumps around.
And he sucks guys off.
He gives him BJ. Uh,
He gives people BJs and then he runs away.
um, but and then his suggestion for the antagonist
Insanius.
was Darth Insanius. And what was the other one? It was either it was Darth Insanius.
Okay,
or
wait.
it was something else.
I got it. I've got the
Darth
quote.
Insanius.
Something really simple.
What's the okay?
Okay,
Wait,
I've got
wait,
the
wait,
quote. Let me read the
Ah,
quote. The team threw a Hail Mary to George, saying the game would have more credibility if The Apprentice had a Darth title. A Force Unleashed team member says Lucas agreed that this situation made sense for Sith royalty and offered up 2 Darth titles for the team to choose from. He threw out first Darth Icky, I-C-K-Y, Darth Icky, and Darth Insanius. There was a pregnant pause in the room after that. People were waiting for George to say, "Just kidding," but it never came, and then he just moved on to another point.
That fucking rules,
He's having
dude.
fun.
He's
having
the
a good
best.
Yes.
If his whole thing was just one extended bit to just ruin his franchise as much as he could, that would be
Mr.
fucking
Lucas.
awesome.
Mr. Lucas, we're glad you're here at the studio. The team has been working overtime to produce this prototype. We'd love your thoughts if maybe you could tell us what his name could be.
Yeah, I was thinking Darth Icky, or maybe Darth Insanius.
Maybe Darth Shitballs. Or,
What if his name was Evil Bad Guy?
well, his name was Darth Mal Bad Man.
Darth Boo Boo.
Hot Coldman Bad Evil
Yeah.
Guy.
What if his name was
I
Doctor
was-
Strangelove?
I
Just
want
literally
to
Doctor
retcon
Strange.
the name of the Sith Lord and change it to be Darth Lightning.
Yeah.
Because he
Well,
uses
he's a
lightning.
genius. He understands primal myths. And
That
stuff.
that was like the end of the good Star Wars games. Was Force Unleashed. It wasn't
Unleashed, yeah.
bad, but it was just like, I don't know, it was a sign of things to come. And now they're just no Star Wars games except bad ones.
I didn't finish the new Jedi Fallen Order one, but
No,
it's
it
good.
sucked.
Oh yeah.
No, I hated it.
It sucked. You hated it?
Yeah, it felt like they were stuck halfway between being a beat 'em up and being Dark Souls, and they couldn't pick which one they wanted to be, and they just made a mediocre version of both. I don't know. And
How did
as
the
as someone coming
I thought it
from
was
Jedi
alright when I
Academy
played it.
and Jedi Knight, which fucking
yeah, I
rule,
was gonna ask.
and have like the coolest fucking movement and physics system, and like the way that like you just have like so much freedom in the way. And I'm gonna use the quote. It makes you feel like a Jedi. It makes you feel like a
Wow.
guy using a lightsaber. Whereas like
That game
the
is
new one,
that's deserved. that game.
but like I don't know. I just didn't like Fallen Orders. Like just the way the character felt was really weird to me.
What are some of the
It did-
older Xbox PS2 era games? I think I played Jedi Academy on Xbox.
Jedi Academy ruled.
Fucking-
Fucking
Yeah.
Jedi Knight
Racer was fucking awesome. It's just a racing game, but it's fucking
oh yeah, the
pod
pod
races.
Yeah.
Rogue Squadron was really good. It's like
I
that
know.
was like a GameCube exclusive. I played it on Dolphin a few years ago. It's just like yeah, flying around in X-wings and stuff. There was like a ton of different. That was the other thing. Like, LucasArts basically treated Star Wars the same way that Games Workshop treats Warhammer, where they would kind of just let anyone make a game if
pretty
like if they gave a good pitch and it seemed like they could be trusted with the franchise, they just kind of let anyone make a game in Star Wars.
There was some quality control because LucasArts itself was like a very big, I don't know about big,
Yeah.
but it made also like
yeah,
the
and they would
Indiana
have
Jones
oversight.
Adventure.
Yeah,
They would have their own stuff that was really really good. Monkey Island was a fucking LucasArts adventure game. Monkey Island 1
yeah,
and 2.
true.
Those are really really good.
And I think they developed some of their own Star Wars games as well, but most of them they would just let devs like take the reins basically, which
Yeah.
is the opposite of what they do now, where they just like only let. Well, that's like the whole Disney thing is they're like they're so controlling they just won't let it out of their hands unless it's to like the biggest AAA developer, which I don't know in the LucasArts era like they really didn't do that. Like the Battlefront games were made by Pandemic Studios, which like they weren't like a huge studio, and like their only really big game other than Battlefront was Destroy All Humans, the one where you play an alien and you like go around like probing people. And
Oh
stuff.
right, yeah, I remember that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. What other games were there? What other fucking?
Battlefront
Look
2.
at the- Oh, those fucking games ruled
Yeah, the
so hard.
Battlefront
man.
games.
We were talking about that earlier.
And that was like the biggest contrast between like the original Battlefront games and then the new one. I only ever played I didn't play Battlefront. It's so annoying because it's literally called Star Wars Battlefront 2, but like
It is
the
what?
EA
It's
one.
fucking quarter three at
Yeah,
the end of it, man.
it's so insulting. It's like the original games just
Battlefront
don't
2
exist.
The original Battlefront games didn't feel as built from a template.
No,
The
yeah.
new ones are just as standard as it comes. It's like Call of Duty. There's going to be some trivial campaign, and then, some multiplayer game modes, and you run around and shoot each other, and that's going to be it. It's going to look very pretty, but you're not going
It's
to
gonna
be
be a
doing all
dice
the cool. Yeah, it's going to be a dice game, but I just like the Jedi shit and the scale of those older Battlefront games was so cool. And
Yeah,
taking the
and,
role
like-
of a soldier and running around with jetpacks, like that was awesome.
They
It was great.
they had so many locations too, which was crazy. Whereas like
Yes.
the new Battlefront literally had 5 levels when it came out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what is that? Hoth, Tatooine.
yeah, yeah.
that
just
was
like
part of the
the most boring ones you could pick.
that was part of the like core value proposition of that game was firing it up and seeing like how many levels there were in game modes and
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
I also want to spawn as Darth Vader and I want to like shoot like all this whatever you wanted to do you could do.
Yeah, it's crazy the amount of versatility just in game modes too, and these specialized game modes as well that maybe on their own have a little less longevity to them when you play them, except with the exception of where everyone is a Jedi or everyone's a hero, I should say, because you can't play as Boba Fett and stuff like that. That stuff I would always want it because I was a child. I really liked it. It would probably be really fun nowadays too. But
Yeah, they had
but even
the
like,
one where it was like you could play as the native species of that planet.
yeah,
Yeah,
like that shit. It's just such a specific like the Jawa. Even though that one,
you
this
could do
specific one
like
sucks.
you could do like
Jawas
fucking Gungans versus robots and stuff like that on Naboo.
yeah. The my favorite one, honestly, it's absolutely fucking ridiculous. But the Wampas, where you can just be a fucking army of Wampas attacking the rebels. Do you remember this on
No,
Hoth?
I don't. That sounds great.
You can just be a fucking
Oh no, I
army of
do
Wampas.
remember that. Yeah. You're
You'll
just
take
big
your shit
Yetis
and you
attach
can run up to people and fucking slap them.
Yeah. I mean, that's when games had fucking content too. Like they didn't really care if it was like that polished. It was just
Yep.
assaulting you with content was like what was cool to do. And now
Yeah.
they can't do that because they need to sell you something else down the line as
Oh,
DLC.
Yeah, like AAA specifically.
Yeah.
Those massive fucking yeah. What other fucking early 2000s?
They basically just
This was
they
gonna be a
basically
KOTOR episode.
Yeah.
Remember that?
they basically just with the games just said, okay, let's just do every genre, but it's Star Wars. Okay, Star Wars RTS, Empire War, Star Wars
Right.
shooter,
Oh my
Battlefront,
God.
Star Wars
forgot about
RPG, Knights of the
Empire
Old
War.
Republic. They just had everything.
Almost completely forgot about Empire at War. I fucking played that game so much,
Yeah.
and I was horrible. I was horrible at it because I was a fucking baby.
I remember I had a Star Wars toy as a kid. I forget what movie it was for or whatever. Or maybe it wasn't even for Star Wars specifically. Maybe it was like some off-brand thing. But it was like this little electronic motorized thing that would shoot these foam discs at you. And you're supposed to like deflect them with the lightsaber.
Oh, I'm sorry. I just remembered what I have. I have
What's that?
the Star Wars trivia book. Let me get it. You know what? Let me fucking get it.
Oh,
Let me
this is gonna be
fucking
great.
get it. If we're gonna talk about Star Wars merch, let me fucking get. Give me 1 second.
We'll be right back after these messages.
Our sponsor for this week
It's Blue Chew.
is Blue Chew.
Blue Chew Industries.
Star Wars Industries.
Who do you think what Star Wars race would
Okay, I'm back.
manufacture Blue Chew? Whatever
Um,
Watto is?
Edit that however you want, but this is the book, right?
None of it's getting cut. We have a Blue Chew sponsorship this week.
Sure,
we
whatever.
fit that
We
in
have
while
loot
you were
box,
gone.
Loot box, loot crate.
Yes.
Obsessed with Star Wars. Test your knowledge of a galaxy far, far away. I got this book is probably fucking 15, 20 years old or something.
So it's all the
And
old
for some
lore.
reason,
Hell yeah.
you know the trademark? Maybe put this on screen, edit this in, but the trademark is not on the Star Wars, it's on the with. So obsessed with trademark Star Wars.
Oh.
Test your knowledge.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a series of books
Called
with.
Obsessed with.
Oh, right.
Yes.
That-
And
yeah, that's
there's
probably
Star
it. That's
Wars.
probably
And they
there's
did a
Harry
partnership
Potter.
with Star Wars.
Okay, so let me just describe to you guys right now the structure of this book. It's just a kind of a square book, and at the
Mhm.
bottom right, there's like an electronic device, and I can click it. Do you hear this?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it says it's like a little screen. Go to question 1246. So let's go to question.
Can you ask?
1246.
Can we do some live trivia? I wanna.
We're doing that's what we're
Hell
doing right the
yes.
fuck now.
Let's
We
do
are-
it,
Don't
baby.
use Wikipedia.
No,
We're
no,
going to-
no Wikipedia cheating.
No Wikipedia shit. No Wikipedia. That's cheating. Fuck that.
Okay.
Okay, question
I
1246.
promise I won't use Wikipedia.
Shut up.
I promise all my
What?
jizz knowledge is authentic and straight from my brain.
Okay, 1246. What actor played Tion Medon in Revenge
No,
of the Sith?
no, that's a joke. You made that up.
I-
Come the fuck on.
I'm not making that up, man. I
Tion
will take a
Medon.
fucking picture of it. I will
Tion
take a
Medon.
picture.
Tion Meon?
Tion Medon, Medon.
What movie is this?
In
In
which movie
Revenge
was
of the
it?
Sith.
In Revenge of the Sith. Oh, Hayden Christensen.
That doesn't help. Come
George
on, man.
Lucas.
Okay, here are the A. Bruce Spence. C. Silas Carson.
I'm gonna
D.
go with Silas
David
Carson.
Bowers.
Even
And
the
D. J. Lagaya.
even the actors' names sound like Star Wars names.
I'm gonna go with the second one. His name sounded cool.
Silas Carson.
Yeah, I'm gonna go
It's
with
C.
Silas
Carson.
Carson as
That
well.
sounds like
Yeah,
a
me
very,
too.
Definitely
George
him.
Lucas.
Yeah, I
All right,
reckon him.
Silas
I'm
Carson.
very confident
Number
about
C.
this
Here we go.
choice.
Here we go. Number C.
It has to be
Wrong. The correct
Wait, the
answer is
robot
A.
tells you?
What?
Wait, the
Check
little button
again.
tells you if you've got it right?
It-
That's
look,
awesome.
look. Okay, question 662.
This is some amazing content.
Dude, I don't understand how this
Go for it,
battery
go for it.
still works. I don't know
Yeah,
how
what
this
the fuck?
fucking battery still works well.
That's
What's the next
insane.
question?
600. Oh, I'm 621 too. Whoops. 662. Here we go. Okay, this is from what era? Attack of the Clones era. Okay, so we've got in which area of Coruscant is the Jedi Temple located? So here are the options.
In the middle.
A, the Jedi Precinct. B, the Temple Ward. C, the Jedi Ward. Or D, the Temple Precinct.
E, Chinatown.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna say Jedi Jedi Precinct.
I don't fucking know.
I'm going to click A.
Is there like
I
Oh
was
no.
The
Let
answer
me
is
look it
D,
up. It's D. What
It's-
was D?
the Temple Precinct.
The Temple Precinct.
That's where it's right next to where all of the low income
I
housing
just
in
checked
Coruscant is built.
Wikipedia, and it doesn't even say that. It says location Senate District, Galactic City, Coruscant. Not even Wikipedia has this shit. This is like cryptic, arcane Israeli speak and spell
Yes.
knowledge of the Star Wars universe.
Is it in
Stolen from the
Hebrew
Lucas
or is it in
archive.
English?
It's not in Hebrew.
Damn it.
It's a huge series. This is directly from the horse's mouth, man. There's no director
Yeah, dude,
source.
it's from
than this.
Obsessed With. My favorite series.
1135. This is from Revenge of the Sith era. Oh my god. What were the Magna Guard's electrostaffs constructed with?
Fuck off.
The
Oh, I know this
Magna Guards being the robots that
Voodoo
come
hide?
to Count Dooku's defense.
Jizz.
A. Mustafarian alloy. B. Mygitan alloy. C. Sith alloy. Or D. Frick alloy.
What was the last one?
Voodoo hide.
Brick alloy?
Frick.
Frick? Okay.
Yeah.
Frick.
Phrik.
Okay. I'm gonna say Mustafarian alloy because that's the only thing I know from what you said is the planet that...
What do you mean Sith alloy?
No, but like it's a location in that movie. It's where they fight at the end. So
Fine.
I know
Is-
that.
Mustafar.
Mustafar alloy.
Is voodoo a
Voodoo
location?
poo poo.
Voodoo. No, voodoo is a creature. That's why you get its hide, right?
Fuck
Voodoo
it. Okay,
hide.
A. Mustafarian alloy.
No. What was it?
It was Frick alloy.
Come on. Is that from
We
the
get one
planet
of these
Frick?
Let's get one
I
of these
think
right
this
because
book
you
is
gotta hear.
actually, the answer just changes every single time
Yeah.
you take the quiz.
We gotta get one of these right. Okay, this is a New Hope era. Maybe we can get this
Okay,
right.
right.
Okay, who is the production designer for A New Hope? That's like an actual trivia
Yeah.
question.
No, I want like
Um,
what are Luke's boots made out of? Those are the
I
questions
don't.
I want to answer.
I'm sure that's in here. I'm sure
Yeah.
that's in here. But who is the production designer for A New Hope? We've got John Barry, John Mollo, John Steers, or John Dijkstra. I think it's either A or D. I don't remember.
What's the most Jewish sounding name out of that list? Pick that one.
Can we get one of these right? Look this up. Just look this up. I want you guys to hear the
Yeah.
little ding 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 ding.
Star Wars.
It's
production.
B. Let's say. Fuck it.
Look up fucking the production designer. Well, I'll fucking look it
Wait,
up,
I
bitch.
got it.
New
I
Hope.
found a completely different result. I
It's
looked
John
it up
Barry.
and I got
It's
Roger
John Barry.
Christian.
John Barry.
Yeah, I think it's John Barry.
Yeah, it is John Barry.
Let's hear it, baby. Yeah.
It sounds
We did it.
horrible. Can we not get another?
Yeah. Why
question
isn't
right,
it? Why
please?
isn't it like R2D2's cheering or something? Instead, it's just
They
a
couldn't get the
random
rights.
dinging
This,
noise.
this isn't Star Wars license. This is obsessed with.
Oh
license.
right, yeah.
No. They got the license, man.
But
Maybe
can't
they
use
have
the
to pay
sounds.
extra.
Yeah.
Okay, this
Okay,
this is
let me
Attack
ask
of
you
the
this:
Clones
how
era.
poorly drawn is the C-3PO on the front?
Yeah.
this is Attack of the Clones era, which means it's going to be a really good question. What act was Senator Amidala fighting when she returned to Coruscant to
no.
speak to the Senate?
Oh, no.
It was a trade embargo. I know this one.
No. This is Attack of the Clones. The trade embargo is in the
I
first.
don't know this one.
A, the Military Insurgents Act. I think it's that one because you got insurgents, you've got the fucking Iraq War. I think it's A. I'm just gonna. Wait, no.
George W.
It's,
Bush.
No.
Amidala was lobbying the government to permit drone strikes on the people of Iran.
No. I think it's the Military Creation Act because they were like, oh, we need the clone wars, the clone.
What
we need
were the
clone.
options? What were the options?
Okay, A is the Military Insurgents Act. B is the Republic Armed Forces Act. C is the Military Creation Act, and D is the Republican Military Act. I think it's C.
Republican military.
Yeah, I think it is too because wasn't the point in that movie that
Yeah,
they didn't
don't
want to
wanna
make an
the-
army,
It's Military
but then
Creation Act.
but then there wasn't. Then they just had the clone army in secret.
So I mean, I guess we all agree with C.
Yeah.
So. Hell yeah. We actually
We're
got one.
geniuses.
Dude, I'm obsessed with TM Star Wars.
We got 2 out of 5 correct. We're actually doing okay. 2000. Okay,
Well, we
so
looked
this is
one
a-
up, so I don't think we count that
we
one.
did. I guess that is right. This is Return of the Jedi era. This is before any of the Disney shit too. So, what do we got? Who is the first to volunteer for Han Solo's command crew on their mission to Endor? A. Luke Skywalker, B. Chewbacca, C. Leia, D. Lando.
Guessing Luke.
Yeah, so this is from the actual movie.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would probably say Luke too.
What was the question again?
Who is the first to volunteer for Han Solo's command crew on their mission to Endor?
Oh yeah.
I
That
think-
was Luke because he was trying to like show off for Leia or something. Because this was before he found out. Or wait, yeah, this was
No,
before
I think
he found out.
because this was Return of the Jedi, so I think it was after.
I do not know. I think Luke.
Wait.
I guess
think
Luke
that's right.
or Chewbacca maybe. I would
I'm-
say
I'm
Luke.
thinking-
Chewbacca.
I'm thinking it's Luke because he ended up going on the Death Star, so he's like, no, don't come with us or whatever. He was like the first to volunteer. Because the people who
Right.
end up with him there are Chewbacca and Leia. Lando isn't even. I don't know.
Lando's like,
He's
I don't want to
flying
go.
around on the-
I just want to fly around.
Hell no! That's what he said.
he did the black voice.
Yeah.
I guess
Galaxy far, far away.
Luke Skywalker is what. Let's
Yeah.
wrong. Who was it?
The fuck? Was it Chewbacca?
Chewbacca.
Lando.
Oh,
Oh,
come on.
no.
Fine.
899. That's gonna be a prequel one. Let's see. All the prequel. It
How
is really
big
crazy
how
how
big is this book?
like-
Jesus.
it's fucking. There's 2,500 questions.
Oh my god.
899. Let's see. Here we go. What do we got?
I think if we don't get
Oh.
this one right, we get frozen in carbonite.
So this is Revenge of the Sith era, but the book, the way it's structured, is it has like these in the middle of every page. It has like a picture from one of the movies, and and then the question. There's like a question in the middle of it that's generally bigger than the other questions, but this one's a big read. So, after General Kenobi reported that his mission had been successful, effectively ending the war, Mace Windu and 3 other Jedi were preparing to go to Chancellor Palpatine's office to ensure that he would restore control to the Senate when Anakin confided to Windu that Palpatine was the Sith Lord searching for some.
A great scene. That's the scene where
I
he does
love
the
that
he does the sheave spin.
It's so funny how like even the book, the official Star Wars book, has trouble relaying the information.
It's so long-winded.
Kind of like Mace Windu.
Yeah.
It's long-winded. In the name, okay,
good.
so then there's a quote. In the name of the Galactic Senate. Well, we all know this scene. This is
yeah,
a great
okay,
scene.
yeah. I'm just playing it by memory in my head.
You are under arrest, Chancellor, Mace Windu said upon entering Palpatine's office. Are you threatening me, Master Jedi? The Chancellor responded before igniting his hidden lightsaber. It was clear that Palpatine was a Sith Lord
when he had a red lightsaber. Yeah,
and he started spinning around, even though he was 95 years old. It was clear that he was a Sith Lord. When he dispatched 3 of the Jedi with ease, leaving only Windu to combat him. The 2 fought a hard battle in the Chancellor's office. As the battle progressed, they moved up the stairs towards the window,
is
which
this
Palpatine
still the
smashed.
setup for the question?
It's still the setup,
What
which
the fuck?
Palpatine smashed with his lightsaber blade. I don't know why they're describing what happened
Yeah,
in the
I
movie.
know.
You
Just get to the part
You-
and say what happens, or say what the question
Windu
is.
finally ended the battle by kicking Palpatine and sending the Chancellor's blade flying out the broken window. What did Mace Windu first say to Palpatine, who he had pinned against the ledge with his lightsaber? The oppression of the Sith will never return. I remember that.
Yeah.
You have lost. I remember that too. You are under arrest, my lord. I think that's the one. I think he said that. Indeed, the Sith are weak. I don't remember that. I think it's C. You are under arrest.
Because I remember all of those things, but yeah, C
So
sounds
they're-
like would be like the first thing he would say.
C it is.
Yes. All right.
Well, that's enough of that.
I think on that note, we can say that we've beat Star Wars. We've solved Star Wars.
Would you say that you're obsessed with TM Star Wars?
I would say I'm. Actually, I wouldn't. I kind of hate Star Wars now. It's kind of lame. It kind of sucks. Like, I don't know. Does anyone care about Star Wars anymore? Like, they just gave us way too much Star Wars in like 3 or 4 years and just ruined it forever.
I don't know about that. I still like KOTOR.
Yeah, well, okay, those old games and movies will
Oh,
never
it-
go away.
I
But
mean,
I just
anything
mean now. Anything to do with Star Wars now, I don't care about at all.
I mean, I didn't care. I didn't watch any of the movie. I didn't care before the movies even came out.
Yeah, but now you like extra don't care.
Actually, you know what? I'm at the same level of not caring about anything new that has to do with Star Wars.
Right.
A series can run its course, and this fucking franchise desperately needs to end.
Yeah. It needs a KOTOR 2 style ending where they literally like kill the Force. Well, it's like
Yeah.
not the canon ending, but like one of the possible endings is like essentially just that aspect of the universe is dead, and with it, kind of like the point or like what makes it interesting. That would have been a nice way to end the 9th movie. Is just the Force kind of goes away.
You can't have
But,
15.
yeah, exactly. But they're never going to do it. And yeah.
One good
They
thing
tried
I
to
will
do
say.
that in the Return of the or whatever Last Jedi, they tried to do that with the whole getting rid of the Jedi thing.
I mean, but they didn't.
Yeah,
really.
and they didn't.
But
couldn't
then the
commit to
Jedi
it.
can
They
come
couldn't
back.
commit to it.
But then they come back in the next scene.
Right.
They didn't. You know.
Right. No, but that's what I'm saying. Like, so for it to work, they would have had to do in the final movie, but to like just have it be done the second movie. I guarantee you that that is where it was going, that it was actually ending. And then somebody at Disney came and said, "No, you gotta keep the Force. We need the Force for the next movies."
Yeah, and if you're Chris Avellone working on some game that no one's gonna play, you're allowed to write what you want, but when you're Ryan Johnson and it's a bajillion-dollar movie, they don't let you play around with it that much.
Who were Padme's nieces?
No.
A.
Stop.
Ryu and Pooja.
Ryu
B.
from Street Fighter?
Ryu and Puka. C. Ryu and Puma. Or D. Sola and Darid.
I'm gonna go with
I'm
Pooja.
gonna go with McClunky.
How long was Jocasta Nu employed in the Jedi Archive?
Stop making these questions up. Come the fuck on.
A.
That's not a
over
real question.
20 years. B. Over 30 years. C. Over 40 years. And D. Over 10. Well, I mean, if he's been employed for over 40 years, then he's been employed for over
Yeah.
10 years.
Oh no, but is this a line? Like he says how... I don't remember this archivist character.
I'm not even clicking on the. I'm just reading shit from one of the pages. Who was Senator Orrin Free Taw's green-skinned Twi'lek aide? A. Pampy. B. Soupy. C. Pansy. Or D.
Pampy. Or D. BJ
or D.
Dot.
D. Soupsy. Supsy.
I'm gonna go with Soupsy.
Yeah, Soupsy.
Oh my god, dude! What did
I just realized
Slithmonger?
something
Dude,
awful.
dude, listen.
If
listen.
only one of these answers is correct, that means that Obsessed with TM had to create all of these other fake names. And they did it so
You're
well
right.
and
Yeah.
so in keeping with the Star Wars universe.
I can't believe what I just read. Okay, this is a question.
They have Lucas.
What
Brand.
did Slithmonger, Slyth Monger, Alan Sleazebagano?
Yeah, that's the Death Sticks guy. His name is Sleazebagano. I remember that from Wikipedia.
He had to make him Italian, didn't he?
Yeah. I love that. That's another detail from the expanded universe. Is that species, the guy who tries to sell him the Death Sticks, his entire species is addicted to Death Sticks. That's in
just
the
a
war.
drug dealer.
Yeah,
They're
they're
a
a drug dealer race. And I assume they have a drug dealer planet as well.
Yes.
He's back.
I'm back.
Listen, we thought we were done, but I'm just reading like random. I'm gonna read some Phantom Menace.
This could be its own podcast. Is just reading these questions.
This is why this is gonna be 5 hours long.
Mhm.
What job did a young Valorum have on the planet Vekacopia?
He was
Well,
a
a shit
jarrer.
farmer, of course.
How tall was Captain Panaka?
7'3".
4 feet.
2 inches.
There's just a bunch of questions. They're like, what was Newt Gunray's species? What was Jabba's species? What was
Okay,
this
all
guy's
right, all right.
species?
Cue up the final Jeopardy ultimate question.
All right, last question. Okay, here we go. Let's actually try
Find
and
like
do
the
a question.
hardest, funniest, like most esoteric Star Wars question you can.
But I mean, I can't. I have to click this thing if we want to get an actual. Well, let me get this one. I don't
Trust
know
the
what
process. Let it fly.
All right, let's see. Here we go.
He's really letting it fly.
145. I'm actually close to that page. Thank God. All right. What do we got? Shit. How many wives did Ki Adimundi have?
Ooh.
Oh, that's the guy
Hey,
with the tall
one
head,
with-
right?
7.
Yeah. The options are 1, 5, 4, or 3. How many wives
Oh.
did he have?
I'm gonna say 1.
4.
It's a trick question. He had 1 wife.
I'm going that
Give
way
us-
too.
Choices again?
1 wife, 5 wives, 4 wives, or 3 wives.
Why is it in that order? Why is it at 1, 3, 4, 5? Oh, who fucking cares?
It's
I'm just
one
gonna say
five four.
Matt's 5 wives.
I don't think. I think it's a fake out. I think it's
Yeah,
like,
I think
he's
it's
not
1.
acting.
Yeah.
5, final answer.
Wait. How does he have a wife if he's a Jedi? I thought they're not allowed to.
Yeah,
okay.
what the fuck?
Yeah, I don't know. Whatever. Anyway, go ahead. What is it?
I guess I'll go with. I'll go with 5. You know what? Just for the sake of, let's do it. Holy shit!
Oh
He
my
had 5
God.
wives.
Hell yeah. Kiadi Mundi slaying.
He's a Kiadi Mundi. Would you say he's a Sigma male?
He is. There's actually an ASMR of him doing Sigma affirmations for 3 hours.
You are really strong. You have a really big head.
You will have 5
Or
wives,
no,
just
it
like
would
me.
be. It would be.
You have a
You
really
have
big
5
head.
wives. You have a normal sized head. Everyone
Yes.
else is wrong.
Yeah. All the other Jedi are gay.
So I think this means
Not
we are
me.
Jedi masters of Jedi trivia.
We're
I guess
we're
so.
obsessed with Star Wars.
We're kings of the
We're
galaxy.
obsessed with Star Wars. We
Um,
are kings of the galaxy.
okay, podcast over. Bye. 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 Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. 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 Bye.